We now have a change in the programme. Instead of Ioannis Maronitis, we shall be hearing from Anna Christina Martins, who will lecture on local knowledge and archaeological sites and collections, the example of Portugal.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Καλησπέρα σας, κυρίες και κύριοι.
First of all, I want to congratulate organizers of this very interesting meeting
Πρώτα απ' όλα θα ήθελα να
and of
συγχαρώ
course for having me
τους
here
οργανωτές
giving this paper.
για αυτό την ενδιαφέρουσα
Local
συνάντηση
people
και για την
were
πρόσκληση
always
που μου έκαναν να
intrigued
συμμετέχω.
by unknown materials
Οι
discovered
απλοί
mostly
χωρικοί
during
πάντα
agricultural
γοητεύονταν
work.
από άγνωστα υλικά
Ignoring the
τα οποία
origins, the
ανακάλυπταν
use and
κυρίως
significance
κατά
of
τη
the
διάρκεια
uncovered
αγροτικών
materials,
εργασιών.
they attributed them mostly
Αγνοώντας την
to a
καταγωγή τους,
supernatural activity
τη χρήση και τη
independently
σημασία
of
αυτών των
its
υλικών,
primordial
τα
purposes.
απέδιδαν
Folklore all around the
υπερφυσική
world is full
δραστηριότητα.
of examples of this kind.
Η
Among
λαϊκή
many
παράδοση
others,
σε όλο
it
τον
was the case
κόσμο
of
είναι γεμάτη
bones,
από παραδείγματα
giant
αυτού του
bones,
είδους.
supposedly belonging to an
Ανάμεσα σε
animal
όλα
species
τα άλλα,
never seen before, or
ήταν και η
what was
περίπτωση
more, to
οστών,
an extinguished human
γιγάντιων οστών, τα
species,
οποία
the
ανήκαν
giants.
σε είδη τα
Later, it
οποία
was
δεν
known
είχαμε
that
δει
these
άλλη φορά
giants' bones belonged to
και ορισμένα
dinosaurs.
σε
That
είδη
is
τα οποία
what
έχουν
medieval
εξαφανιστεί
people thought to
σε ένα
be
είδος το οποίο έχει
dragoons.
εξαφανιστεί,
An
ανθρώπινο είδος,
example of how
τους
knowledge
γίγαντες.
is a cumulative process.
Αργότερα
On the
έγινε
other
γνωστό
hand, the
ότι αυτά τα οστά
existence
των
of those
γιγάντων
giants could explain the
ανήκαν σε
building
δεινοσαύρους.
of many enigmatic stone structures, the dolmens. Even if some
Η
believed
ύπαρξη
they
αυτών
were
των
used
γιγάντων
as
θα
witch
μπορούσε να
houses
εξηγήσει
and
την
seen
οικοδόμηση
as
και πολλών
druidic
ενιγματικών
altars.
πέτρινων
Those or these
οικοδομημάτων.
different interpretations resulted, of
Ακόμη
course,
κι αν
from the
ορισμένοι πίστευαν
ignorance
ότι
concerning their
χρησιμοποιούνταν
real
ως
historical significance
κατοικίες μάγων
and the significance of these
ή
same
ως
structures.
ιερά των δρύδων.
However, it is interesting to observe that the practical
Ορισμένες
nature of some
ερμηνείες,
local
οι οποίες
people
προήλθαν από
justify
την
the use of some
άγνοια
of these
σχετικά
dolmens as Christian
με
chapels.
την πραγματική ιστορική σημασία
Unintentionally,
τους.
of course, it was a way of preserving these
Ωστόσο,
prehistoric
είναι
monuments, many
ενδιαφέρον να
of which
παρατηρήσουμε
were
ότι η
used
πρακτική
in modern
χρήση
buildings. And this fact is much
που
more
γινόταν από
interesting
ορισμένους
when we remember
ντόπιους
that these same
πληθυσμούς
people could not know the original use of the
δικαιολογούσε
dolmens
την
as funerary
χρήση
structures. Moreover, it was a
από
kind of an unconscious
την χρήση
overlap
ξανά
of one
ορισμένων
belief
εκ των
over
ιερών
a pagan one.
ως τώρα
In the
πια
meanwhile, between the end
χριστιανικούς
of the
ναούς.
18th century and the 19th century, the industrialization allowed discovering
Χωρίς να το
many
κάνουν
other
σκόπιμα,
giant
ήταν ένας
bones,
τρόπος
especially
να
during
διατηρήσουν αυτά
mining
τα
works.
προϊστορικά μνημεία,
But
πολλά
science
από τα οποία
developed considerably from
ξαναχρησιμοποιήθηκαν
the end of the
ως
17th
μοντέρνα
century,
σύγχρονα
and
κτίρια.
these bones were then contextualized accordingly to the inherent geological stratigraphies. It began a
Στο
new
μεταξύ,
era for science in general and for the
ανάμεσα στο τέλος
emergency
του
of
18ου
paleontology in
18ου
particular,
αιώνα και του 19ου
motivating many landlords
η
and local
εκβιομηχανοποίηση
intellectuals to
επέτρεψε
search
την
for
ανακάλυψη πολλών
ancient
άλλων
and
οστών
unknown
γιγάντων,
fossilized specimens,
ιδιαίτερα κατά τη
a
διάρκεια
phenomenon
εργασιών εξόρυξης μεταλλευμάτων.
complemented by another one related to an ancient
Αλλά η
belief
επιστήμη
concerning thundered
αναπτύχθηκε
stones,
σημαντικά
that is,
από το
flint
τέλος του 17ου
axes
αιώνα
and flint
και αυτά τα
arrowheads.
οστά
An explanation
απέκτησαν
only
περιεχόμενο
possible
σύμφωνα με
thanks to the
την
discovery of
εγγενή
sealed archaeological sites
γεωλογική,
where bones of
σύμφωνα με
extinct
εγγενή
animals,
γεωλογικά
human bones and
στρατηγραφήματα.
such rudimentary artifacts were together in the same geological
Ξεκίνησε μία
layers.
νέα περίοδος
Only
για την
then it
επιστήμη,
was possible to affirm, to establish
για
the
την εμφάνιση
existence
της
of a
παλαιοντολογίας.
prehistory denied by
διότι η
many,
εμφάνιση της
including local
παλαιοντολογίας
people, who
παρακίνησε
persisted on
πολλούς
using the old
ιδιοκτήτες
term
γης
thunderstone.
και
Nonetheless, many of
κατοίκους
these
των τοπικών
thunderstones
κοινοτήτων
were collected by
να ψάξουν
locals just for
για
simple
αρχαία και άγνωστα
curiosity or to sell them to
απολιθωμένα
collectors and museum keepers.
Ένα άλλο
But
φαινόμενο
other local issues produced archaeological knowledge,
που
as in
συνδέεται με την
Cantabria,
αρχαία
Spain, by the 70s of
πεποίθηση
the 19th century, when
και
the
τις αρχαίες
doctor of a local
αντιλήψεις είναι οι
landlord
λεγόμενες
and prehistorian
πέτρες
amateur
του κεραυνού,
discovered the
δηλαδή πέτρες από τις
Paleolithic rock
οποίες
paintings
αποτελούνταν
of
πέτρινα
Altamira,
τσεκούρια και
which
αιχμές βελών.
authenticity was unfortunately viscerally denied by the main
Μία
authority
εξήγηση
in the
η οποία
scientific
είναι
domain, the
δυνατή
French community. We do not have
χάριν
time to
στην
explore all the
ανακάλυψη
contours of this
σφραγισμένων
issue, but we
αρχαιολογικών
can say at least
τοποθεσιών
that this was a
όπου
clear
οστά
example
και
of how
εξαφανισμένα
local knowledge
είδη
could
ζώων,
have contributed
ανθρώπινα οστά
earlier
και
for
βασικά
to the
τεχνουργήματα
development of
βρίσκονταν
prehistoric studies
στο ίδιο
if it was not for some
τα ίδια
obscure
γεωλογικά στρώματα.
interests of a single person, Gabriel de Mortier.
Μόνο
In what
τότε
concerns
στάθηκε δυνατόν
Portugal,
να
the main
επιβεβαιωθεί η
starting point
ύπαρξη
for archaeological
μιας
development was the
προϊστορίας,
establishment of a
την
geological
οποία
commission
αρνούνταν μέχρι
within the
τώρα
Ministry
πολλοί,
of Public Works in the
η οποία
50s of the
συμπεριλαμβάνει
19th
ορισμένους
century.
τοπικούς
This
πληθυσμούς οι
is
οποίοι
unquestionable.
επέμεναν
But another
στη
moment was
χρήση
vital, the
του παλιού
participation of
όρου,
some Portuguese intellectuals in the World
πέτρες του
Fair
κεραυνού.
of 1867 in Paris,
Παρ' όλα αυτά,
where the
πολλές από αυτές τις
prehistory
πέτρες του
was
κεραυνού
assumed as the first period of human
συλλέχθησαν από τους
history
ντόπιους
from an
πληθυσμούς,
evolutionary
είτε από απλή
This
περιέργεια,
fact,
είτε για
together with the
να τα
knowledge of
πουλήσουν
what was
σε
being done to
μουσεία
preserve
και σε
memory,
συλλέκτες.
history and historical monuments, especially in France
Ωστόσο,
and above
άλλα
all in
τοπικά
Paris,
γεγονότα,
but also in regions like
παρήγαγαν
Normandy,
αρχαιολογική γνώση, όπως
inspired
την
the
Κατάμπρια στην
and the first
Ισπανία,
president of
τις
the
δεκαετίες
Association of
του
Portuguese
1970,
Archaeologists, Posidónio da Silva, to increase the
19ου
number and
αιώνα,
typology
όταν
of archaeological
οι κόροι
artifacts
ενός
of its museums.
τοπικού
The
άρχοντα
themes of the periodical conferences and courses,
ανακάλυψε
the nature of the papers
τα
and the news
παλαιολιθικά
published in
σχέδια
its
στις
bulletin.
σπηλιές της
It
Αλταμίρα.
also stimulated him to incentivize and cooperate in the establishment of local erudite societies, local library and museums, in order to ensure the development of archaeology, because only by illustrated, educated people it was possible to rescue many artifacts.
Η αρχή
Of course,
για
local
την αρχαιολογική
intellectuals were
ανάπτυξη,
aware of the importance of
ήταν
archaeology to the development of the
η
country and
ίδρυση
its people.
της Γεωλογικής
Example of
Επιτροπής
that,
μέσα
Francisco
στο
Martins Sarmento, who
εντός του
dedicated his
Υπουργείου Δημοσίων
entire
Έργων
adult life to the study of the proto-history of his region,
50 του 19ου
thanks to
αιώνα.
a huge personal wealth, which allowed him to found a local society, a museum,
Αλλά
and
άλλη
to
μια
publish.
στιγμή ήταν επίσης και αυτή
In the
σημαντική,
intervening time, another
συμμετοχή
episode will influence the
ορισμένων
history of
Πορτογάλων
archaeology in the
διανοούμενων,
country. The organization in Lisbon
στην
of
παγκόσμια
the
έκθεση του
prestigious
1897 στο
International
Παρίσι,
Congress of
όπου η
Prehistoric
προϊστορία
Archaeology and
θεωρήθηκε ως η
Anthropology.
πρώτη περίοδος της
In
ανθρώπινης
order to
ιστορίας
prepare the
από
Congress,
την πλευρά
the
της
Portuguese
εξελικτικής
government
θεωρίας.
hired the archaeologist Estácio de Veiga to map the south region of the country, Algarve, and collect the artifacts he considered to be must be included in a future archaeological museum of that region. 1 month after the closing
ενέπνευσε
act,
τον
the
μέντορα και
government
τον
asked
πρώτο
the Association of Portuguese Archaeologists
οργανισμού
to list all the
Πορτογάλων
ancient
αρχαιολόγων
structures to be
Ποσειδόνιο ντε Σίλβα
classified as national
να αυξήσει
monuments,
τον αριθμό
gathering
και την
all the
τυπολογία
information given by its many
των
local and
αρχαιολογικών
regional
τεχνουργημάτων
members. More than a
διέθεδαν, που
decade
ευρίσκονταν στα
later, the
μουσεία.
philologist, ethnographer, prehistorian and
Καθώς και το
professor
θέμα
José Leite Vasconcelos
των
was nominated the
περιοδικών
first director
περιοδικών
of the National
συνεδρίων και
Museum of
διαλέξεων,
Archaeology in
καθώς και τη φύση των
1893.
άρθρων
It
που
was
δημοσίευε
the
στο
starting
περιοδικό
of a new page in the history of archaeology in Portugal, fulfilled of battles between central interests,
Επίσης,
that is Lisbon,
κινητοποίησε
ones and local interests.
τοπικές
A
κοινωνίες,
competition that
οργανώσεις,
inspired other local
βιβλιοθήκες και
intellectuals
μουσεία
like
με σκοπό να
António dos
εξασφαλίσει
Santos
την
Rocha,
ανάπτυξη της
who
αρχαιολογίας.
survived, excavated, published and founded an archaeological society and museum. The same happened with Francisco Tavares Proença Jr., son of one of the richest and powerful landlords of Castelo Branco in the north of the country. Surveying, excavating, collecting and publishing, he was also able to establish an archaeological museum in his home city in order to educate local people. Others did the same, thrilled by the perspective of contributing to the instruction of education of locals, and by that to the safeguard of many ancient structures and artifacts within a liberal and even Republican point of view, especially because certain intellectuals had no sympathy towards some local people, especially the non-educated. Fortunately, the majority of local intellectuals defended locals, since they recognized their importance in the fulfillment and accomplishment of a cultural, scientific, archaeological agenda for each region, and instructed and directly involved in archaeological projects. Some local people could be and were powerful defenders of their own heritage, including archaeological ones, and therefore the most powerful archaeological allies, since they were and they still are frequently the heirs and the keepers of important traditions and memories, which sometimes helps and allows to identify archaeological sites and artifacts, as our prestigious colleague Liana Suvalci knows so well. And of course, the local elites and even priests were essential in all this process, since they had all the needed capitals to accomplish the project of developing archaeology locally. Mainly in founding societies for the safeguard of ancient monuments and archaeological sites, in short, and reproducing the words of a 19th century Portuguese archaeologist, António da Rocha Peixoto, most of what he knows was due to individual initiative and private initiative at a local, regional and even national level. And even today, we must be aware that it's very difficult, if not sometimes impossible, to accomplish archaeological projects without the involvement of local people, independently of being wealthy or not wealthy, educated or not educated, illustrated or not so illustrated. In truth, archaeology should not be practiced aside from local people, because science, in this case archaeology, must be practiced with the people and for the people, enlarging their knowledge about the past, beginning with the local history. In this way, it is a way to contribute to the so-called sustainable development of local and regional people. Thank you for your attention.
I've been invited to summarize that and make a comment or two. That was a wonderful account of 20,000 years of human history and of 200 years of European scholarship on the matter. The Portuguese situation parallels similar developments and similar trajectories, historical trajectories in France and Great Britain, Germany, Italy, and I presume in Greece, although I know nothing of the Greek scene. And it's a lovely move from primitive, simplistic beliefs, seeing giants and dragons everywhere, to the gradual growth of science, and science's very considerable input now. It's much more sophisticated than it was even 50 years ago, and science contributes a huge amount to the fine analysis of archaeological data, increasingly enriching our past. You will know that I come from Great Britain, and Britain has recently, a majority, at least those who voted, have voted to leave Europe. That's a sad thing for many Britons, many millions of us, and another sad thing happened just last week. The advanced level archaeology courses being taught in British schools are being phased out from next year. We are turning our back on history. Long live the heptapolis.